You are now watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to another episode of the Ball and Beats podcast. I'm joined alongside me today. I got Spencer to my right, Andrew to my left, Alan, of course, joining via Zoom. How are we doing today?
Alan!
Gentlemen.
Doing good. Living,
I just wanted
breathing.
to say that.
The Lions are great.
Hey, man, you know, we're going to dive into the greatest team that's ever touched the turf, you know.
My God.
Greatest show on turf 2.0, question mark? Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing well, you know. I'm doing well. Sports-wise, with my teams, not so well, but, you know, semester's almost coming to an end. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Slowly but surely.
You know, the turtle always wins the race, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, I think we have to start, we got to start talking about the greatest team that's ever touched the field in the Detroit Lions, right? Let's get to our football segment. And that's really, most of the show is going to be here today. But, Spencer, start us off here with your Detroit Lions and just how amazing they are.
You know what's kind of crazy, and I'm gonna say something that might be. I don't care. They have. If you look at the stats between the 1999 LA Rams offense and the 2024 Detroit Lions, the Lions have better stats than that team. And it's through 10 games. We still got 7 games left in this season, and obviously, but the fact that this offense is playing the way the offensive line, it starts with the O-line. The Lions are built on their offensive and defensive lines, and even with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson and now with the loss of Alex Anzalone, which will hurt for the next few weeks. I think they said 6 to 8 weeks, so hopefully he'll be back for the playoffs. It hasn't phased this team. And this team embodies what Dan Campbell is. I've said it time and time again. This team is, I believe that they're the best in the NFC. I think I can't put them against the Chiefs yet because the Chiefs are still the back-to-back Super Bowl winning team. I don't care if they lost last week to Buffalo. Although the Bills might be up there for the top of the AFC. They're looking really good, and that'll be a good matchup when the Bills come to Detroit in a few weeks. But this team is effing awesome, man. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Winning is freaking awesome. An 8-game win streak is freaking awesome. And
Enjoy it.
It's great.
Oh, I am, because
I am enjoying it.
I saw this team win 3 games 3 years ago, and saw one of the worst defenses of my lifetime. Then, and the fact that I don't think this team has reached their full potential. They're obviously injured. They don't have Derek Barnes. They're not going to have Alex Anzalone. They don't have the best defensive player in all of the NFL, and Aiden Hutchinson. I don't care what
was that?
The best defensive player in the NFL.
Oh.
Yep. I don't care what you say about.
Statistically, when he got injured, he was playing the best, but doesn't mean he is the best. Because we all know the best. It happens to be on the worst team in the NFL right now. But
Yeah, sure. Where's
No,
Myles
he's
Garrett
in the
at?
same division as the guy you're thinking of, but it's not him.
Oh, Trey Hendrickson?
No, it's T.J. Watt through and through.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sam Hubbard or something like
It's
that.
T.J. Watt, man.
No, but to be,
It's not TJ, but that's okay.
I don't know. Trey Hendrickson's having a really good year, though.
He is.
He's having 11.5 sacks. But that'll be another segment because I do have a few NFL teams I want to talk about. But back to the Lions real quickly before we move on. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I know it sounds like I'm sugarcoating it. I don't see a weakness in this team right now. The kicking, the special teams, A+. The defense held C.J. Stroud to no points in the second half when they were losing 23-7. A few weeks ago. We didn't really talk about that game. 5 interceptions didn't phase this team. The offense is the best offense in the NFL by a country mile. A country mile. It's not even close. I don't care if you say the Bills, the Ravens. I don't care. It's not close. It's not. You got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, the best running back duo in the league. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, Tim Patrick, Allen Robinson to round out the receiving core. You have Jared Goff, who Nick Wright called a civilian at quarterback while his Messiah is playing like utter dog shit this year in Patrick Mahomes. And then you have the best offensive line in football by another country mile. I don't care what you say about Philly, about Baltimore. I don't want to hear it. The Detroit People Movers is a real thing, and this offensive line will create a hole for anybody. And the fact that their worst game was against the Texans, and they still ran for over 130 yards is crazy. But, hey, man. The BTA tour continues in Indianapolis this weekend.
Andrew, your thoughts?
I think you're correct, and I think the biggest thing with this Lions team is they hit on almost all of their draft picks the last 2 years. Brian Branch is just incredible. That dude is out of this world. Like, he was a second-round pick, right?
Yep.
And the fact that he fell as far as he did, coming out of Alabama, the way he played at Bama is just ridiculous. And, I mean, you guys have just, like 3 years ago, like you said, they were terrible,
Awful.
and they hit
Tyrell Williams and Brashad Perryman were my wide receiver 1 and 2. You know who those guys are?
Yeah.
Brashad Perriman?
Rashad Perryman went off that 1 year.
Yeah,
in
he went
Tampa.
off that 1 year.
He was fairly decent in Cleveland,
And
Baker's rookie year.
Tyrell Williams was cool for the Chargers for like a year, and then got his bag, and then kind of just fell off a cliff.
Wisconsin
But
Badger legend.
I think it goes to show just how important from the top it is.
Development.
Just from everybody in their front office to the head coach, like, it all matters, and they just hit on almost everybody they hired a couple years ago, and now they hit on everybody that they're drafting on. And I mean, I don't want to say that it could be a dynasty because I think Jared Goff is playing really well, but if they lose Ben Johnson, it's going to be tough.
They will. They're losing both their coordinators.
He'd be great with Joe Burrow, by the
Aaron
way.
Glenn, I'm telling you right now, I'll bet you guys any amount of money. Glenn will be the next coach of the Saints next year.
Yeah.
That's a good option.
Aaron Glenn knows New Orleans well. He was the coach there when they hired him from the Lions. And Ben Johnson, I could see him going to Chicago, Jacksonville. I could see him going to Dallas when they eventually fire Mike McCarthy. Ben Johnson's going to be the most sought-out candidate, and they both deserve it. They're both amazing coordinators. And like you said, with it being a dynasty, they have the players. It's just the coaching because the Lions are the only team to have the same coordinators for the past 3 years, because Ben Johnson took over in 22. I mean, Ben Johnson could have left last year. Aaron Glenn could have left last year, but they didn't. They decided to stay. And you said it with the draft picks. This team hasn't made a massive trade. This team hasn't gone out and gotten a superstar in a massive trade. The biggest move they made was probably getting DJ Reader from the Bengals, and he's been phenomenal with this team, with Aleem McNeil and that pairing on the inside of the defensive line. But, yeah, the draft picks at Brad Holmes, I mean, he's hit on – it's crazy his hit rate. Every single year he's gotten a star or a Pro Bowler. Every single year. And it's something that's like he's going to miss on a pick.
Right.
It's not going to be 100%. And he might miss. I mean, Terry and Arnold's been up and down so far this year. So we'll see how that ends. But it's crazy to me, the fact that the hit rate of the draft picks, they seem like they make all the right moves. And when you're 9-1, I mean, the NFC North is a gauntlet right now. Besides the Bears. The Bears are garbage. And that's another team I want to get to in a second. But it's freaking awesome. Yeah. That's all I can say. I mean, the team has done everything right. Going from Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn to Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes is it's night and day and then some, just to say the least.
Alan, your thoughts on your second favorite team, the Detroit Lions?
Oh, yeah, your Chiefs lost this weekend. Sorry, buddy.
We'll get into that, too.
Okay, first and foremost, I am a Lions fan through and through. I just want to say we forgot to mention Kirby Joseph. He's been playing really well this year.
Best safety duo in the league.
And I'm really happy with. And I'm just happy with his production. I was surprised by it, and I think we have two of the best safeties in the league right now, in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. This
Pro
team,
Football
it's
Focus,
their year to lose.
1-2. They are 1-2 on Pro Football Focus.
Exactly. This could very well be the Lions to lose this year, and I never thought I'd even say those words.
Alan, this question's going to be specifically for you since you're the other Lions fan in here. This is obviously a dream season for the Lions. All Lions fans everywhere. It's accumulation of everything. But this is either going to be the greatest year of all time or it's going to be the biggest disappointment of all time. They don't win the Super Bowl. This is a disappointment of a year. Because they're losing both their coordinators, who, Aaron Glenn is going to be a great head coach for the Saints. I feel like that's set in stone. And Ben Johnson, I don't know yet. I feel like Chicago would be his best option to go help them when they eventually fire Eberflus. But I want to do you think it'll be a disappointment if they don't win the Super Bowl this year? If they win the North, and even if they make the Super Bowl, but they lose to either Buffalo or Kansas City because I think those are the two best teams in the AFC. Sorry, Kev, your Steelers are not there yet. Do you think it's a disappointment of a season?
I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, only for the fact that we just haven't been to a Super Bowl yet. I'm not gonna lie, I think we could beat the Chiefs or the Bills in the Super Bowl, but I think just making it would be probably that's what we want, is to just make it. And I don't think it'll be too disappointing if we lose. Now, if we get blown out, that's a different story, but I think just making it will make this a hell of a season.
You know, I sort of agree with you there, but at the same time, it's like you're not going to get the same group of coaches again, and this team is not going to be the complete they were again. If they don't win the Super Bowl, I think it'll be a disappointment. In my opinion, screw what I said earlier. The Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. I don't care what anyone says. The Chiefs, their offense is terrible. They look awful. Mahomes has looked terrible, but yet he's top MVP voting for some reason just because of his name. And the Bills' offense is very inconsistent. Their defense is banged up while they are getting guys like Matt Milano back. And that's going to be the team to beat in the AFC, in my opinion, is the Bills. I think this is the Bills' year, kind of like the Lions, to push through and make the Super Bowl. And I gotta say it's a disappointment if they don't win it.
Yep.
This is the best team in the NFL.
Cam, can I get a little zoom in here on camera 3 for me, please? Appreciate it. So, what he said, it is going to be a disappointment for the Lions this year if they don't win a Super Bowl. Here's the thing, though, Spencer. Like, after what I said preseason-wise, I said Houston, Green Bay, right? Detroit's winning the Super Bowl. They are the best team in the NFL right now, and it's theirs to lose. They are the best team right now. It's not close, I think, on both sides of the ball. They're the most efficient on both sides. It's Detroit. They're winning the Super Bowl this year. Congratulations.
Well, I'm not going to laugh because I agree with them. For right now, this is week, what are we at, 11 or 12?
12.
We're at week 12. I completely agree with what he's saying. He can laugh and try to do the reverse jinx. We've all picked the Lions for like 8 straight weeks, and none of it's worked. The Lions have beaten everybody for 8 straight weeks, and I agree with Logan. I firmly believe right now, barring there's only a few players that get injured that would derail it. I believe this team is winning the Super Bowl. I've seen, Buffalo is the one team I would be afraid of to play. Kansas City, we would beat by double digits. We would beat the Chiefs by double. This team is fraudulent. This team is trash. The Steelers have no offense. I'm not scared of them. I don't know why I'd be. Baltimore only runs the ball because Lamar's receivers can't catch the ball. Everybody else in the AFC sucks. The Chargers, I'm not trusting Jim Harbaugh without cheating. And any other team, just get out of here. The NFC, the biggest teams are in the North. Vikings and Packers. To me, I think the Packers are better than the Vikings, even though, the Vikings beat the Packers earlier. I can't. The Vikings just look like a bunch of frauds, but they're 8-2. So, and the San Francisco 49ers. I just did something, but screw you guys. Screw you guys, San Francisco. How's that loss taste? 5-5. Bunch of scumbags from California.
Hey,
anyway, let's get to another
49ers
team that I think we should
is
talk
no
about.
Green Bay.
Say what, Alan?
I was just saying, it's snowed in Green Bay. It looks like the 49ers are going to have a fun time.
Yeah, it's cold. It's snowing outside.
It's
snowing, man.
I'm not ready for it, man. I am not ready for this snow. But let's move on, and let's talk about this Bills-Chiefs game just a little bit, because this happens, I feel like, every year when it comes to Buffalo.
The Bills
win
in the regular season.
The Bills are always regular season merchants when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they can still not get over the hump. And when it comes to postseason, is it a fluke that they won this game? No. Buffalo is like that. But I don't know. This Kansas City team was destined to lose.
Yeah.
This team has the reminiscent, or they remind me of the COVID year Steelers a little bit. The thing is that, yes, the Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champs, and they have the best quarterback in the NFL by a wide margin. But the way this team has played throughout the year, they have been lucky throughout the whole season to not take a loss.
Yep.
They probably should have had a loss 4 or 5 weeks ago.
They should have a few losses by now.
They should have lost in week 2 against the Bengals. They should have.
Yeah,
But
that was
with
a bad
with
that
a
defensive
pass
interference.
interference. I mean, you can talk all day about whether it was a pass interference or not, but I mean, it kind of was.
but
Um,
for the Chiefs, it's who's Mahomes going to throw the ball to besides Travis Kelce?
Well, and they need to get healthy, but I think the biggest thing with this Bills team is there's really not that weird relationship with Stephon Diggs that's happening anymore. And honestly, they're just more a complete team. They run the football a lot better.
They do. James Cook's had a career
Dalton
year.
Kincaid is really good, and Dawson Knox is really good. They're kind of two tight end sets that they run. Their defensive line has really started to find it. Like, they had some guys that they drafted a few years ago that
Ed
have
Oliver
really,
has really had a good season.
Ed Oliver's been good the last 3 years. It's just nobody talks about him. But I thought they needed a couple years because they lost not Matt Milano.
Jordan Poyer?
No, the other linebacker that went to the Bears.
Tremaine Edmonds.
They lost him, and their safeties have been getting old. But I think that they have kind of found it. They just need to not shoot themselves in the foot in the playoffs.
Yep.
I think me personally, I think the Ravens are better than anybody else in the AFC. I think when it comes time for winter games, obviously the Super Bowl will probably be inside. Where is it at? It's in
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
So yeah, it'll be in a dome. But I think this is finally the year that Lamar gets through, and I think the Lions are very good. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess it'll be
the NFC is going to be very interesting because right now, I mean, and I'll say it, a lot of people have the Lions winning the NFC. While I think it is backed up as the Lions have played the best football, they have the biggest point differential in the league. They're like plus 159. They're up there with the 07 Patriots and the 1999 LA Rams, which is crazy. But you still have games to play. There's still good teams in the NFC. I don't think the Niners are dead. I can't think of the Niners as a team that can make a run until they get eliminated. Because for me, it's like they never go away. And I think the Lions are slowly starting to become the Niners of old, and I think the Niners are starting to decline. Their players are getting older. They have a lot of injuries this year, obviously. Losing Brandon Ayuk is
Oh, that's amazing. That is the
not
greatest
a rant,
thing.
man.
That is the best thing I've ever seen.
Get some Advil. We sponsored by Advil. We got
Not
a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
No, we're sponsored by the OBO though.
We are sponsored by the OBL. We should be. Yeah.
But
Shout out the OBL. We'll talk more about the OBL.
okay.
But yeah, I say, Kevin, anytime you just hear Spencer talk, throw that graphic up in general. I think that adds a lot of texture to this show. It's a beautiful graphic. It's beautiful. Anyway, keep going with your unprompted rant, brought to you by Advil.
No, I killed it. It killed the rant. There's no. Okay. Really big close up. Yeah. So I love talking about the Lions, but I think we should talk about his team because the Bengals make absolutely no sense.
Yes.
And I think we got to talk about the Bears.
Yes.
Let's start with the Bengals.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the bigger storyline.
Andrew Holman.
2 years ago, they let Jesse Bates III walk in free agency. And this past year, they let DJ Reader walk in free agency. And there you go. And that's how you get 4-7, ladies and gentlemen, because the offense is hitting on all cylinders. Dan Pitcher, who was the QB coach last year, comes in as the offensive coordinator as Brian Callahan goes to the worst team in the league in the Tennessee Titans.
Team that Logan said was making the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. What was that?
I said Washington would too.
I tried and back you up a little bit because I thought Brian Callahan was going to be all right, but he's terrible. But I mean, it's just it's a deficiency with talent on the defensive side of the ball for the Bengals. They just can't get off the field on third down, which is a real big problem. They don't make tackles in the open field and allow big touchdowns that swing momentum. It's not all about it's not about it happening. It's about when it happens with the Bengals. And a lot of the times in those moments during games when they need to shift momentum back their way and make big plays, it goes the opposite way. Multiple times we've lost close games, like the Ravens twice, the Chiefs. I mean, we still have some tough games left. Pittsburgh, who's been really good this season, because God knows how. Just efficient football is the Steelers. I mean, that's really all you can say. But, I mean, you don't draft well past the first round, and you don't develop some guys that need to be developed, and you let big free agents walk because you're cheap, and that's how you get a 4-7 team with the best quarterback in the league this year.
Are they ever going to pay Chase?
Yeah, they'll have to. They'll have to because they'll probably lose Burrow if they lose Chase.
You know, for me, yeah, it's kind of like what you said. I mean, the Bengals' offense has been great. Joe Burrow is putting up in my opinion, if the Bengals had a somewhat winning record or 500, I'd have him winning MVP right now. He's 27 touchdowns and 4 picks, and he leads the league in passing yards. Burrow is playing phenomenal with not a good offensive line again.
You know what this reminds me of? Before all the drama in Houston, it reminds me of Deshaun Watson's last year as quarterback in Houston. When they went 4-12, he put up MVP-like numbers, led the league in a lot of statistical categories, and were god-awful.
Yeah.
It's a very reminiscent season.
Reminds me of Andrew Luck.
That too.
The past few years, the Colts, before he retired.
Yeah.
Do I think Joe Burrow's going to retire? I don't. Because he just signed that big contract with the Bengals, and I don't think he would do that. But, I mean, the Bengals this offseason, the season's not over, but it is, right on the brink of being over.
One more loss, and it's you're probably...
For me, they have to go and just revamp that secondary. I think they haven't gotten over the loss. I think the loss of Bates meant a lot more than the loss of Reeder, because the good thing the Bengals have on their defense is their edges with Hubbard and with Hendrickson.
Sam Hubbard's terrible. Oh, he's bad.
He
has been bad this year, man. I think he's had pressure on 7% of his rushes. I'm not even. That's good. Not a joke.
He
dude.
Was good.
He had the rumble in the jungle against the Ravens in the playoffs a couple years ago. That was pretty sick. But this team is a shell of its own self when it comes defensively. It's just Miles Murphy and Jordan Battle and Cam Taylor-Britt just have not panned out, and those are top 3 round draft picks.
Do you want to fire Zach Taylor?
I don't. Me specifically, I like the whole continuity thing, being able to give people time, and he took us to a Super Bowl, AFC Championship. But it's late game decisions and it's adjustments that really don't happen. And for the right guy, yes, but at the same time, it's man, that defense is just. It's just not talented. It's just not good. So,
it's not really stars other than
basically what you're saying is they're awful.
They're just they don't have a good. You put the Browns defense with the Bengals offense, and we go to the championship. But that's kind of the.
I like that. I like that idea.
Your guys' teams are the opposite.
The absolute
He's got a bad
opposite.
Offense and a really good defense. You got a really good offense.
My defense has been, and the problem is my defense has been mediocre because they're on the field every play of the game. It feels like this offense can't stay out there. Bengals suck. It's all right. We're riding this together.
The only thing I will say though is about them being bad is that Joe Burrow is fun to watch, dude. Honestly, he's just balling. They have done some stuff this year with him that they wouldn't usually. They can't run the ball, which sucks.
Well, that's what happens when you get rid of Joe Mixon and you try to replace him for Chase Brown.
Yeah.
He
hasn't
Chase
been
Brown.
bad. It's just the running concepts are different this year, and
Mixon's tearing it up in Houston.
Well, he's being used differently there though too.
Yeah.
And that team's better than the Bengals probably ever were in a weird way. But yeah, it's tough. But you know what, man? I like watching Joe Burrow. So at the end of the day, there's probably more than double-digit teams that are better than us any given day. So, if we're not going to be able to watch Super Bowl, we might as well just watch Joe Burrow and the Triple Crown winner, most likely, and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, y'all had your heyday, and it's gone now. It's all right. So let's move on to the Bears here. Let's move on to the Bears here real quick, and before we pivot off to,
Oh, the Bears. Oh, that's sorry sack of a franchise. That's what we used to be. But the Bears will always stay the Bears. And, hey, Aaron's team owns Chicago. Mr. Lobenstein, congratulations. It doesn't matter if the Bears are 15-0.
Okay, Bear.
You're losing to the Packers twice. You're going 15-2.
I think they've lost 11 straight to Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken.
Last win was in 2018.
You know who blocked that kick, right? It was a BG foul.
Brooks.
It was Carl Brooks. Carl Brooks.
Shout out Bowling Green. They're going to make the MAC title game.
Probably win it too.
No, yeah.
They're definitely
Shout
gonna
out
win
Toledo
it.
for that performance last night.
If they just win one of those games against A&M or Penn State, they could be flirting with the college football playoffs.
Gotta love
Not wrong.
Gotta love 5 fumbles in one half. But that's for the college football segment. And you know what the main thing I take away from this is Caleb Williams. He actually played pretty decent this game, and he made some really good throws in that last 2 minutes. Obviously, that third down connection to Rome Odunze, and then the fourth down connection to Rome Odunze. But, man, Eberflus may be a Toledo guy. This dude is an utter garbage can of a head coach. He has no awareness of time management. He can't coach a player to save his life. Doesn't matter what quarterback he's got in there. They can't develop under his system.
What you're saying is he would be an elite in the OBL.
Hey, he's going to be coming home in a few months. The Bears aren't going to fire him mid-season, but yeah, he'll be.
They should.
They should, just like the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. But he'll be done. He's going to be fired. He's terrible. And the defense actually played really good against that game against the Packers. And the Packers didn't even have a good game. It's just the fact that the Bears are the Bears.
It's also just the fact that the Packers are literally the Bears' daddy.
Yep.
Like,
It simply is like
Cairo
that.
Santos got his kick blocked. I think it was a flag. I think he put his head down on the snapper.
I did see the Bears tried to make the argument there was leverage on that kick. And I did see the replay. There's a fair argument because
Yeah.
they definitely pushed the long
What's-
snapper
but
really hard.
I
really
never
far.
understood-
You can't have that happen.
I
but-
never understood why people send that into the league. Because, like, what's exactly going to happen? Oh, we're sorry, missed a call. Oh, okay. Well, what's going to happen now? You going to overturn the game? No. Okay, what's the point?
Right.
So,
Yeah, no, it's true.
Knowing the Bears, though, they probably missed the field goal anyways. It probably doinks off
double
the
doink
upright.
out the left. Yeah.
It doinks upper right, middle, top left.
Spins on the
Triple
bottom
doink?
bar, rolls out.
Triple doink. Spin move. At
I
the
don't know.
end.
I like Caleb Williams, and I think some quarterbacks take longer to develop than others do, but I think the Bears are ready to kind of compete right now in a weird way. But they just can't because
They have a good
they're
team.
at a deficit. Their head coach sucks, and their quarterback is a rookie. Like they need like another year to really put it together, and they need another running back too.
You know what really does the trick for them? Getting injury-prone older receivers and a guy named Keenan Allen
Yeah.
does the absolute trick.
And Shane Waldron screwed this offense this year, and he got fired, and they put Thomas Brown in, and he actually didn't have a bad game. The offense put up points when they needed to because the Packers have a good defense. Both these teams have very good defenses. It's just the Bears. It's what Andrew said. I mean, Eberflus is, in my opinion, the worst head coach in the league right now.
That's left, yeah.
That's left of the starting. I think he's worse than Mike McCarthy. I think he's worse than any Doug Peterson, who I still don't understand has a job. But Doug Peterson has actually won a Super Bowl, so I can't really go after him too hard. He's just he's older. The Jags are the Jags, and this Bears team. It's hilarious to watch.
It is hilarious. Let's move into college football here just for a little bit before we get into our picks. The frauds of Brigham Young University. They're frauds, massive frauds. In the Big 12, Colorado is the best team in the Big 12. It's not close. And Sheduer Sanders is the best quarterback, most talented quarterback in college
that was
football.
Not a good take by me in preseason. I said the Buffaloes would win like 4 games. You shoot your shot. You got to give Colorado credit. Travis Hunter and Sheduer Sanders are playing like the 1 and 2 picks in the draft this year. They really are, and they honestly might go 1 and 2.
Yeah.
If Jacksonville keeps tanking, they'll get Travis Hunter. And then if you got like teams like the Browns and teams like the
Giants,
Cowboys,
Raiders.
Giants, Sheduer Sanders, it seems like he would be a perfect Giant. Who they just benched Daniel Jones, so
let's be
now
honest,
their season's over.
This man always tweets, "Thank you God" or whatever every time the Raiders lose. It's happened every single week, and when they haven't lost, he hasn't tweeted it.
Yeah, but you know what would be fun? Sheduer Sanders to Malik Neighbors would be an awesome connection.
That would be a good connection as long as he can stand upright.
They would get to 8 minimums max his first 4 years in the league. I think he's really good, but I think he needs to go to a team that has a little bit more of a complete setup.
I
to
agree.
It.
Then go. Don't,
I
you better
think-
hope you don't go to the Raiders. Then.
I think the Giants are. I mean, I know we're not on NFL anymore, but the Giants are just that bad where they just need to continue to compile dudes so that when a rookie QB does come in, he's not murdered, and it's not another Daniel Jones. Did you guys see that he's playing safety at practice?
Yes,
Yep.
he is third string quarterback the rest
Yeah,
of the
He
year.
that's
came
not
out with a statement today, basically saying he was
Bless you.
thanking all of his teammates in the organization for everything.
Yeah.
So he's either going to get released or he's
Well,
just gone.
that was
Well,
the worst contract
if they
extension
don't-
in NFL history. So.
If they don't resign, if they don't release him,
right. Sure, buddy.
if they release him next year instead of this year, they will miss out on a $47 million fine for releasing him. So they will most likely not be releasing him until next year. But the funny thing about Colorado is, if they don't have a Hail Mary against Baylor early on in the season, they're probably not where they are right now.
Nope.
And then they just made the best Big 12 defense in Utah look like, I know their quarterback situation's bad right now. Zach Wilson's little brother is awful.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Colorado, man, has put their head down this year and just kind of worked.
And the one thing I'll say about the Buffaloes,
They
their
got dudes.
Their run defense is very good.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
very good at stopping the run. They stopped Utah. Obviously the last game. I mean, this Buffaloes team is dangerous. Do I think that they win more than one game in the college football playoffs? No. I don't think they have enough talent. I think they have really two big superstars on offense, and then their defense they have a very good defensive line. They great at stopping the run. But
and of course I have Travis Hunter and stuff, but playing both
Yeah.
ways. But
yeah.
no, you're right. Colorado, regardless, a lot of people preseason, slept on Colorado because of how last year went. In prime time, he has really built up Colorado. He just got
They just got a 5-star.
that,
They got
too.
Julian
Like
Lewis,
that, like-
decommitted from USC, now committed to Colorado. We've had the talk about, Dion
He might
to
not leave
Dallas. Who knows? Who really knows? I've said why not for Dallas to try and get Dion and Sheduer as a package deal. I said that before anybody else has, and I'm going to keep saying that because I did. But, he's always said that he would always prefer to be in college. He doesn't want to be an NFL coach because he likes the program and he likes building up young men kind of thing. And I don't think he really wants the pressure of being an NFL head coach. But
There we go. Man, you are just beaming white right now.
Yeah, I know. You're a little hot.
Bro, he is beaming right now.
I do look like Casper, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, the
Casper
studio.
the Ginger Ghost.
This Casper the Ginger Ghost. All right, there we go. Queso the Ginger Ghost. Shout out AJ. Shout out AJ Reineck
I will
over
say,
there.
though, an
With the bleached hair.
Indiana-Colorado first-round playoff matchup
Would feed
go
families.
would go hard.
Or like an Indiana Boise State.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll just move on from
It's
that.
okay.
I'd like to see Boise State against a lesser opponent.
Ohio
than
State's going to take
Indiana.
care of business, and they are going to mentally destroy the Hoosiers. So, right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
probably.
Indiana, your best win is against a very bad Michigan team.
Whoa. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
I don't want to talk about the Wolverines because it's their
No,
bye
that's-
week,
there's
but
not- there's-
Why don't we talk about them though?
hey, you.
what
No,
to talk
no,
about,
no.
man? We
I
can,
can't wait for Toledo versus Michigan.
oh, it's
And-
going to be
and-
beautiful to
at
call that
Ford
game.
Field.
Listen to WXUT, Toledo's only alternative, as we cover all of Toledo Rockets athletics.
Hopefully, we're going.
Tune
to the
in
Bowl.
I don't wanna talk
tomorrow
about
as we will
Toledo
cover the
football.
Toledo women's basketball playing Long Beach
This doesn't
State
come
at
This
out.
Saturday.
comes
This
out
doesn't
on
come out
Saturday,
until
so-
Saturday.
Yesterday.
Remember to listen to yesterday's show.
No,
Go to
but
the
I mean,
WXUT
quick,
SoundCloud.
just quick on them. I mean, Jesse Minter
Ass.
looks
All right,
like
Yep.
Sounds good. And
Yep. And Ohio State is gonna. I'll put any bet. OSU is gonna win by at least 21 on Saturday. This Indiana team is not good.
ooh.
They are the biggest bunch of frauds in college football. When you play an awful, when you play a terrible schedule like the Hoosiers have, I mean anybody could be 10-0 with a fighting chance with the team. You have Indiana playing Penn State or Ohio State, which they will be playing, or Oregon. They're gonna have those are 3 losses right there. I wouldn't pick Indiana to win any 3 of those games, and I'm not gonna pick Indiana to win this game in Columbus.
I think Indiana beats Penn State at Indiana.
I think that's a fair argument. Maybe
I
not.
don't think Penn State's really all that good. They're the same Penn State for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I mean, seriously, they have not taken that next step.
And they won't with James
And
Franklin.
they most likely will
They're-
not with him.
well,
They need a
they-
guy that really energizes
They
the
are
program.
the most perfectly rated program. When they're favorites, they win. When they're underdogs, they lose.
And that's
So let's go through some. So Indiana not beat Georgia, not beat Ohio State, not beat Alabama. They would not beat Ole Miss. They would not. Colorado is iffy. I think that'd be a really good game. I might give that to Colorado though. They would not beat Oregon. They would not beat Penn State. They would not beat Boise State.
They would beat Boise State.
No, they wouldn't.
They'd beat Boise.
No, they wouldn't.
They would beat Boise
On the blue
State.
turf? No.
On the blue
Man,
turf.
we are going to find out a lot about this Hoosiers team.
And we're
We
going to
are.
find out a lot
Saturday,
about
man.
this Buckeyes team then, I guess,
We are.
too. Because here's the thing. Ohio State now, Seth McLaughlin tore his Achilles in practice. Ohio State's offensive line continues to get less and less strong as the season progresses. That's the only issue with this Buckeyes team
Hintzman's
is the
taking
health
over
of
at
the
center.
offensive line. If they can stay healthy, well, not stay healthy. If the guys can step up who are playing, you got mostly second stringers now on that starting offensive line moving forward.
That hurts.
That hurts tremendously.
He was playing like an All-American.
He was arguably the best center in college football the way he had been playing this season. And
Does
he really stepped
Does
up.
he have another year of eligibility?
I don't know. I'd have to
Because I
look.
know he's a senior,
Let me
but
ask
I
you
know he
guys a
started in
question.
2020.
Let me guys ask you a question. So you guys lost to Oregon. That's your only loss, and it was a close one in Eugene. Do you guys beat Georgia in a neutral site?
Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Carson
I,
Beck
I
is
would think
awful.
so. I would think so because, yes, they have been very iffy. Georgia has all
Georgia
season.
has-
At least Ohio State.
I will
I'll
say
say
this.
this. Ohio State's had its
Georgia's
moments.
schedule has been the toughest
Yes.
of anybody. I mean, they started out the year against Clemson.
Maybe
Clemson-
except for Florida.
Florida. Yeah, Florida too. I mean, they've
Brutal.
gone on the road at Alabama, at Texas.
And the fact that Florida's
Ole
probably going
Miss.
to be in a bowl game too is actually really good. I think,
They
even though they're
should.
5-5 and a win against an LSU program.
or
that,
Florida State. They'll
you
beat
know.
Florida
Do you
State.
beat Texas
Sorry,
in a
buddy.
neutral site?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Texas is
I
very
th-
good.
and
the
in
only
fact-
team, the only team
I
that
mean-
I really would be afraid of is Oregon, because Oregon played us tough.
Oregon, Alabama. I'd be more afraid of Alabama than Georgia. Even-
Alabama's tough, man.
I would be more
Alabama's
afraid of them.
tough.
I would be more afraid. To me, I'll say this: Texas, early season, we were saying they were the best team. If you really look at their schedule throughout the year, it's kind of like Indiana's. It's not that impressive.
They haven't-
comparative. It's granted the SEC is the toughest conference. I'm not disputing that. But if you look at who they have played
Yeah.
over the course
Who
of the
is
year
their
now,
biggest win?
their biggest win is Arkansas, or their biggest win is
Who are we talking about?
Michigan,
Alabama?
Texas.
Texas. If you look at their wins, their one game they did
'cause
have.
They haven't
they
played Bama. They played Georgia, but lost to
Yes.
them at home.
Exactly their biggest game of the year they have lost, just like Ohio State has up to this
Yeah.
moment. I would compare Ohio State and Texas on the same level.
I would have liked to see Quinn Ewers stay healthy all year.
They've been
Because
better
it-
with Arch Manning when he's been healthy
It
recently.
felt like once
Yeah.
he got injured, a lot of things changed
Yes.
for that team.
Yours
And
hasn't been the same.
because the offensive line was just mowing people down at one point.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know hindsight is 2020. The Michigan team has turned out to be what the Michigan team has been, but Michigan's defensive line is still tough to move, and they move them dudes all day. Obviously, Oregon had their way as well, but I don't know. I would like to see Texas healthy, and yeah, I mean,
One team that I think has really bounced back and can be a sneaky good team in the playoffs. Ever since the NIU loss, Notre Dame's looked pretty solid. I know they haven't played a lot of great
Frauds.
quality
Never
teams.
gonna trust Marcus
Frauds.
Freeman. Never gonna trust a team.
They're not
that
great.
loses.
They haven't played great quality teams.
Toledo would beat
but they,
Frauds.
Toledo would beat Notre Dame because they beat NIU and NIU beat Notre Dame. Translated
Notre
properly.
Dame is
So then
exactly
Vanderbilt's
like Penn
national
State, dude.
champions.
That's right.
Notre Dame's the exact same team as Penn State. They're the same team the past 5 years. They would get hosed.
They did beat an
in the
A&M
playoffs.
squad.
Notre
who's
Dame would
going to
get
possibly
Notre
make the
Dame would
playoffs.
Have
lose
you
by-
watched Notre Dame though?
Yes.
They
Riley Leonard
throw
isn't that
to your
good.
tight end and run the football.
You know what? Hey, that's okay because we got America's team playing. We got America's team playing Notre Dame this weekend.
Army.
That's right. America's team.
And
What
with
about
that,
Navy, man?
What about Air
America's
Force?
second team because they're 7-2.
What about Air
And
Force?
Air Force doesn't count. They're
Air
like terrible
Force.
this year.
What about the U.S. Coast Guard?
Chair
They got a
Force.
football team or Marine Corps. Shout out the VMI cadets as well. Shout out.
Should probably get to the picks.
We should get to the picks right now. Yes, we
Let's get to
should.
the
This
picks.
yapper. over
Shout
here
out
is what
Cam
caused
with
it.
the graphics.
Shout out
Run-
Cam with the
running behind the
graphics.
camera.
Hey, we're graphics guys.
Exactly. We're graphics,
We're
guys.
graphics
over here.
guys.
As we're gonna put up here, our first pick of the game, our first pick here is Bowling Green, Ball State, our arch nemesis
Really?
down south. You know, Saturday game, 2 o'clock kickoff on ESPN Plus. Good thing it's ESPN Plus because no one really cares to watch that game. Harold Fan,
college slate this weekend.
you know, the only real thing I got to say is Harold Fannin Jr. is a Bolitnikoff semifinalist as a tight end. That's kind of tough, right? BG's winning that.
Yeah, Ball State ain't that good. Bowling Green's pretty good. Falcons. That's all I gotta say.
It's going to be BG. Scott Loeffler's got them boys rolling right now.
Yep. Allen.
Congrats, Bowling Green. Bowling
Congrats,
Green.
Bowling
Oh,
Green.
Ball State coming in with a sweep here.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're starting off the sweep strong this week as we move into our next game. As we have the 9th-ranked Mississippi Rebels going down to the Swamp to take on the Chompers and Gators.
Christian
Florida.
Gators.
Christians Gators, as that is a noon kickoff on Saturday on ABC. I'm going 2 for 2 here. Florida is going to sweep people off their feet, and they are going to beat the Rebels this weekend. Give me Florida and DJ Lagway and company. They're a better team on offense when DJ Lagway is back there slanging the rock. I think Florida's building something. I know Billy Napier isn't the greatest coach, but I like this team with DJ Lagway. I think they've got a bright future.
Wrong. Billy Napier sucks. The Florida program sucks. They're not
They
good
suck.
at all. LSU is just overrated as hell. And they've lost 4 straight games. Ole Miss is going to go into the Swamp and kick Florida by 20-plus points.
Make the argument Ole Miss is pretty overrated
Give me
as well.
Oh yeah, because they obliterated Georgia at home, but they're overrated. Give me
They lost to
the
Kentucky
Rebels.
at home.
Okay, and they beat Georgia.
I weirdly enough am going to agree with you here. I'm going to go with Florida as well. Big win against LSU last week. I feel like ever since they said Billy Napier is going to have his job back, they've kind of bought in a little bit more, and DJ Lagway's played well.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss sucks.
Give me Florida. This seems like a
Wow.
game that
Man,
Florida
I
would
can't wait for that
win.
free win. 5-5.
Sometimes you just gotta believe, Spencer.
Sometimes, yeah,
I mean,
sometimes
I
you
don't
just
know.
gotta believe.
Sometimes you
we're
just
getting
gotta
there.
believe.
We're getting there.
Yeah, this is kind of wild to see this have only the team who's actually ranked only get picked once.
I know, like Florida isn't not
Yeah.
good.
Moving on to our next game of the week. I don't know why this one happened to be in the cards, but Oklahoma hosting Alabama, maybe the only
We all
reason
picking
why.
Bama.
Night game against the Crimson Tide in Norman on ABC. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, I would assume, are calling that one. Realistically, shouldn't be, because Bama is going to absolutely demolish the Sooners. It couldn't come soon enough, frankly.
Okay.
Oh.
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 All right. Well,
Oh.
I guess.
Okay.
Hey, you.
Well, then, we're just going to quickly
All right.
move on to sweeps
That's
here.
all right. Well, we all picked the U. All right. Yep. Roll Tide. Roll. We're all they're rolling.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about these
You don't
games.
need to talk about
As we
this
move
game.
on to the next one, as we get into our fourth game of the
Yes.
week, and we get into
Yes.
America's game, if you will.
America's team.
As the 19th ranked Army Black Knights go up to South Bend, touchdown Jesus, to take on the 6th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 7 p.m. kickoff on NBC/Peacock. You know, America's run is over. Give me the Irish.
As Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. This is America's team. This is America's game. Because nobody likes Notre Dame except people from South Bend, Indiana. Give me the Army Black Knights in an upset because it's America's team. Why would you root against our Army?
I'm a redhead. Of course, I'm going to choose Irish.
I might be a U of M fan, but there's 2 teams I never go against because of my dad, and it's Notre Dame football and Duke basketball. So give me the Irish, even though they suck.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Spencer.
Hey, thank you.
Agree with
Someone who
Spencer, go
actually
Army.
roots for America.
All right, there you
Someone actually likes this country.
Moving on to the next pick. As our next game is the game of the weekend. Of course, it's got to be big noon kickoff, and let's destroy the Horseshoes atmosphere as the 5th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers are coming into town to Columbus to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Indiana hopes to crack some nuts, and they sadly won't. Give me the Buckeyes.
2 quick things. I might be going to this game. And 2, Ohio State had a 5-star quarterback lined up to go to this game, and he can't because it's a noon game. So thanks, Fox. Bunch of scumbags. Big noon kickoff is the new way to go. Screw off. It's going to be Ohio State by 1,000. This Indiana team sucks. Curtis Rourke's going to get sacked like 5 times, 6 times. His team's not going to know what hit him because they haven't played anybody like Ohio State yet. Give me the Bucks.
Wow. I'm going to say, yeah, the whole Big Noon thing is stupid. Like, why not make it prime time? I know ABC has the whole SEC thing, but Big Noon kickoff does suck. I'm going to go with the Bucks too, but I think Ohio – I can't wait until you guys text us in the middle of the first quarter and go, Ohio State's down because you guys are down by 3, and you guys start slow every game.
And we're like, it's over.
We say it's over, and then
I look at halftime, and it's 21-3. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah, we were going to lose to Northwestern until we said it's over, and then they came back and played pretty well.
Alan.
Give me Ohio State. I just can't see Indiana winning this one.
I'm not worried.
Go Hoosiers!
I will take so much crap if Ohio State loses this game. I don't see it at all.
We're going to be thinking about cream and crimson all next week.
Indiana is not good. Don't let the committee tell you they are.
All right, well, that's a heartbreaker. As we move on to the Monday night game here.
The Harbaugh Bowl.
The Harbaugh Bowl. As first NFL game of the week, we have Ravens at SoFi Stadium. It's going to be a home game for the Ravens as they take on the Chargers on Monday Night Football. But that don't mean nothing. Just because there's going to obviously be more Ravens fans there doesn't mean that Jim Harbaugh isn't going to cheat his way to victory. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, the Ravens are pissed off, and I think that I'm going to go with the more experienced coach, the one that doesn't cheat, and I'll go with John, and I'll go with the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, nice zoom. Oh, I guess not. I guess I'm going with the Chargers.
The Chargers were on there.
Never mind.
You did say Chargers.
You guys are a bunch of sad saps, man. Give me the Ravens.
It's funny because you did pick Chargers on there.
No, I guess it's for Jimmy.
Give me the Ravens too.
It's a good. I like that split right there. So that way half this room is smart people. As we move on to this next game, so we have the 49ers and Packers, 4:25 on Fox. I'm assuming Tom Brady is going to be commentating this game against, two teams that wishes they had Tom Brady as their quarterback in their history. So 49ers, your reign of terror is over. Aaron, you can live another day because the Packers are going to avenge a lot of history this weekend as the Packers are going to beat the 49ers.
Yeah, the Packers won't die, and it pisses me off, and they're going to win this game because this team just won't lose. So, yeah, Green Bay, because screw you.
Listen, you guys want to call the Packers the Bears' daddies. It's on the same side. The 49ers are the Packers' daddy. Give me the 49ers, man. Death, taxes, and 49ers winning in Lambeau.
Fair argument.
Alan?
Yeah, well, Lambeau's going to be covered in snow on Sunday, so...
When's the last time they played in snow? Who hit a game-winning field goal against them in the playoffs, Alan?
Robbie
Yeah.
Okay, that's the playoffs. This is not the season.
Same difference. It's all right. Moving on to our next game as we have Cardinals-Seahawks, also 4:25 on Fox. NFC West showdown, a weird division this year, I must admit. The Cardinals have been playing really good ball. The Cardinals, honestly, have probably looked like maybe the best team in that division right now.
Oh, absolutely.
For some reason, 12th man means something, and Seattle's atmosphere is one of the best atmospheres in the NFL. For that reason alone, I think Seattle is going to pull it out.
Yeah, Seattle had a huge win last week. They really needed that game to get their season back on track at San Francisco. I think the Cardinals are good, but I don't think they're this team that people make them out to be. I don't think they're as good as people make them out to be. So give me Seattle.
Let me pick the Cardinals on there.
And I picked the Cardinals.
You did pick the Cardinals.
All right.
It's funny because
you did pick
it's funny because I'm gonna completely disagree with you. This team is good. Trey McBride is one of the best tight ends in the NFL that nobody talks about. And Kyler Murray is saucing. He's playing like Kyler Murray, dude. Sometimes you just need to get out of the media, and this dude got out of the media and he's balling. And Rich Gannon has got those boys playing well.
Jonathan Gannon.
There's probably a Josh Gannon out there.
Rich Gannon is the quarterback
Did I say Rich Gannon?
Of the Raiders in the Super Bowl against the Bucs.
Great Super Bowl.
Shout out to him, man.
Shout out to him.
Super Bowl.
You know what? Exactly. Shout out, Alan.
Gotta give me the Seahawks on this one.
Y'all
I
forgot
don't
who
know,
y'all
the-
picked.
just
Y'all, we
kidding, I
had
guess it
two,
was the
we had
Cardinals.
2 people forget they picked the Cardinals on our graphics.
Well.
What is happening here?
Oh, well.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Cameron puts in his blood,
Cameron-
sweat, and tears
You know,
Exactly.
to
Cam,
get these done.
it's not you, it's me. That's my bad. It's not you, it's me.
This should be all green, yet it's all red. That's crazy.
Before we go to the next game, the whites for the Cardinals are devastatingly saucy. I mean, those are some of the best unis in the NFL, dude. Those are sexy.
Those are not as sexy as this game, as the Eagles will be also at SoFi this weekend to take on the Rams on Sunday Night Football on NBC. Shout out Carrie Underwood. The Rams are playing good ball right now, too. The Eagles may be one of the best teams in the NFC besides Detroit, but I think the Rams are a sneaky good team. I like the Rams to beat the Eagles this weekend.
Yeah, the Rams are playing a lot better. They seem to be going up and down. I mean, you lose to the Dolphins at home, and then you go on the road, you beat the Patriots. This Eagles team is playing very well right now. I believe they're on a 6-game winning streak, second to the Lions, who have 8. Give me the Eagles on the road.
Yeah, Eagles have kind of figured it out a little bit. I got the Eagles too.
Yeah, I got the Eagles. The Rams, they can't win this one.
As we move on to our next game here, and
Oh,
it is the Thursday
Prime
night
time.
game, prime time here on Prime Video. Yes, this game will be over after this episode airs, but Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I remember one beautiful Thursday a few years ago, and a guy named Mason Rudolph turned into a gopher with his head being smashed in.
That was awesome.
You know,
That's funny.
sadly, I wish that could happen again. Not gonna lie, I'd love to see it happen twice over. But the Steelers are going to obliterate this team. The Browns suck. They are drafting the rights to Arch Manning in 2026 this next draft. So Steelers blowout.
So, fun stat for
You're
you.
a two-way crook, dude. Going against your own team,
Fun
man.
stat.
How you about to do that?
So Pittsburgh has played 7 games on the road on Thursday nights in the AFC North. Do you know what his record is?
I have not.
He is 0-7 on Thursday night games in the AFC North. He's going to be 0-8. The Browns are going to piss off their fans, piss off their fan base, screw up their draft capital, and I have the Browns in here.
If you check,
have
if
the
you
Browns
che-
in here.
If you check, it says Steelers in there.
Did you change it?
No.
I put the Browns.
If you check, it says Steelers.
No,
I don't
it
know.
doesn't.
We just followed whatever that sheet said.
Oh my God, you changed my pick. I picked the Browns a few days ago. I don't care what he chose. It's Browns. The Browns are
You
winning
said
this game.
Steelers.
No, I
All right,
didn't.
that's up to you. But Andrew,
You changed it, bruh.
Honestly, I'm not.
Put it in there.
Okay, so I picked Pittsburgh as well. I think the Browns are awful. I think the Browns are
dude's
awful,
unreal.
but honestly, it's weird because I picked the Steelers, but like this is a game that the Browns would win for some reason.
it is. This is the game the
It's
Browns
like a
win.
weird
In
game.
fact, fun stat about the Browns on Thursday Night Football: they have gone and won their last 6 games on Thursday night. Alan,
I picked the Steelers to win this
Yeah,
one.
I bet you did. Just like, all right, okay. Yep. Let's go.
all right, get to
This dude over here, I picked the Browns because the Browns are winning this game. I don't care if he changed my pick or not. I put the
I
Browns in a
didn't
few
change
days.
the pick.
Yeah,
That
you
was
did.
all you, bosses. The Lions are going to Lucas Oil Stadium for the last game. Sunday, 1 o'clock on Fox in Indianapolis. Give me the Lions. They're the best team I've ever seen on a football field.
This dude pisses me off so much. Give me the Lions. Yeah, because they're playing really well right now. So give me the Lions. Go Lions.
I think I picked the Colts on this one. Yeah, give me the Colts, man. They finally back to Anthony Richardson.
This is going to be a lot closer than people
I think this
it
is a game that is a little more interesting. The Colts defense really is has found it a little bit, and I don't know, man. I think it'll be a little coming off of that heater against Dallas. I think the Colts are a little bit better than people think they are.
The Jets.
Alan.
Yeah, give me the Lions.
Not surprising there. Not surprising.
no,
you did pick Pittsburgh. I do want you to know.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yeah, you did.
The commissioner is coming in because I picked the Browns and I'm getting screwed over. This is fake news.
Spencer, after a thorough review of the picks, you are correct.
Exactly.
Looking at the edit history of the
I told you.
somebody out there's turning his back to us. I don't know. AJ, can you get a picture of our cameraman over there on camera 1?
Yeah, exactly. I chose the Browns.
Can you turn over? No. Take that camera.
No such
Go.
thing. The Spencer did pick the Steelers.
At 4:25
Yesterday?
on Wednesday afternoon, I show a change of the picks from Browns to Steelers
I don't know. I don't know what they're
by
talking
somebody
about.
who's holding up his hands out behind the camera.
I don't. I do not know what we're talking about.
I'm all for shenanigans, but I'm on your side here, buddy.
This is
You got rigged.
This is rigged. He's over here making fun of me for getting my picks, and I actually know the one I chose. He's like, "Oh, you didn't do that."
I have no clue what's happening here. I think this is a Ponzi scheme they're coming up with.
Fine. You know
against us. Even if the history may say that, who cares?
Famous
That's not what
Jameis
happened.
is going to throw for 350 yards on the Steelers tonight. Nick Chubb's finally going to have a good game, and the Browns are going to win this game because Mike Tomlin always
It's
has
all
a
right.
bad game
Well-
at least once a year.
Well, nothing happened. Even if the edit history says so, that's all right. Who cares? Stuff happens, you know. It is what it is, all right? You pick the Steelers, and you're going to have to live with it. That's going to wrap up this episode here from the Ball and Beats podcast. Shout out to all the Steelers fans out there. You're getting a clean sweep tonight. Shout out Spencer Gallup as he picked y'all.
This is rigged.
Stay tuned next week. We got a special episode. Thanksgiving's next week, all right?
Tune into the OBL.
OBL. Turn into the OBL.
We actually
Game
gotta
1
get
tonight
going.
coming up.
Best game time.
And the game talk, Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. Yikes, it's been a crazy few years, but maybe coming back to a little bit of normalcy around these
And
parts.
we
We'll
got
have to see.
Thanksgiving football, and you know what that means. That means Caleb Williams is going to come in and destroy the Lions because the Lions can't win on Turkey Day.
All that and more next week. Signing off. Take care and peace.